All right, so let's look at this example here where we have x equals e to the t, y equals e to the minus t. So I'm going to solve for t here. There's actually some slick ways to do this. One way to do this problem is to actually realize that if you took e to the t times e to the minus t, right, they would just cancel each other out. So that means you could get the xy equation this way by just saying xy equals 1. Or, in other words, y equals 1 over x. All right, so that's one way to approach the problem. That's kind of a little slick and might not be something you notice. But so instead I'm going to go a little bit of a longer way and say, hey, I need to solve for t. So I take my x equals e to the t equation, apply the ln to both sides. Of course, we know that e to the t and ln cancel out. So we get ln of x equals t. And then we can go to the y equation, y equals e to the minus t. So that'll be e to the minus ln of x. And here's how we work this problem out. To be able to cancel the e and the ln, it needs to be e raised just to an ln of something. So we then take the negative exponent there and absorb that inside there to make that x to the minus 1, the negative in front there. The coefficient of the ln we absorb as an exponent. So then e and ln cancel out. We get y equals x to the minus 1, which is y equals 1 over x. So we are dealing with the 1 over x function. And so remember the 1 over x function is this asymptote in both ways. Approaching 0 on the left, approaching 0 on the right, and vertical asymptote there in the middle at x equals 0. Okay. And then, so that's the graph, but what parts of the graph are we actually graphing? Well, both e to the t and e to the minus t are positive numbers for any value of t, so we're definitely not dealing with any of this part, but it could be anything over here. Okay. So let's plot a few points and see what's happening. So my interval is going from minus 2 to 2, so I might just go in and do minus 2, and let's pick the middle one as well, 0, and plug those values in. So if x is negative 2, or sorry, if t is negative 2, x is e to the negative t, so that would be e to the negative second. Plug that into a calculator, you're going to get the decimal 0.14. And on the other hand, y is e to the negative t, so e to the negative second would actually be e to the second. That's going to come out to be about 7.4. When we plug in 0, e to the 0, and e to the minus 0 are both going to be 1. And when we plug in 2, it's just going to reverse. E to the t will be 7.4. E to the minus 2 would be my 0.14. Okay, so my graph looks like this. The graph is going to look like this. Right, it's the upper half of that thing, starting at the point there, 0.14, 7.4. So right here. And then we get to the 0.11. And then we're going to be the other way, the 0.7.4, 0.14, like so. So we're actually getting this part of that 1 over x function. Orientation going this way. Okay. All right, so that's looking at orientation and graphing things. What we're going to look at in the next couple of videos are some investigate some particular parametric equations and talk about what kind of equation we're actually dealing with. Okay.